making sure that the problem doesn't exist. It's preventable, so.
So this issue, this bill really is, we were just saying that this isn't the right issue, it isn't the right time, and it isn't the right model. Why isn't it the right issue? Access to care is not a real problem. Right now, we were just told 96% of people in this state have access to Medicaid dentists within
Well, at least two dental
Two
practices.
dentists within 5 miles of where they are.
Okay.
So the dentists are available.
And that's a Mass Health study.
Right,
It's
and that's not
a
so-
study we did.
Right.
Mass Health, Tracy Chase is the one who's in charge of,
Okay.
The survey,
Mass
yeah.
Health, and she can literally give you that information.
So there are dentists available.
Okay.
They're not even being sought out by the public, but they're there. The issue is probably letting them know that they're there and making sure we can help them get
They
there.
also did a survey, and 84% of the people who responded in the survey said that it wasn't,
Right.
that was not the reason,
Issue,
that was
right.
not the reason they had not seen a dentist in the last 12 months. The reasons were that they couldn't get off from work, there weren't evening hours. I mean, you really want to pick on an issue, it would maybe be having community health centers open from 1 to 9 every day instead of, having a community health center 9 to 5. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, Lynn Community Health Center, I will say, they have done a tremendous job. I mean, they're open, I think, now three evenings a week.
Yeah.
But that's something that Lori Erlich only really, did within the last couple of years, and partially, through our support and our urging. I think the North Shore District Dental Society contributed over $36,000 contribution to it again this year.
That's appreciated.
Yeah, well, I know that.
I'm sure
But
that
part of
they
it is it
definitely-
gives us a collaborative effort with them.
Yeah.
Number one, to help them expand their dental services, but beyond that, to have input into what they're doing and how they're doing it.
Pardon me, I'm sorry, I have to
Not
text
a
the rep and
problem.
tell her there's a roll call. But keep talking, I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, no, but that's just the key, it's like, we're doing what we're doing to develop a collaborative platform, so that in fact, when they have questions that they're trying to, find answers for, that we're there, and we're part of the community, and that they're gonna look to us
Definitely.
to develop the information and find out what the truth is, because, I mean, I hate to tell you this, but, well, I hate to tell you this, obviously you probably know more than I do with lobbyists wandering around it.
He loves to tell you this.
Yeah, that, it's not always based in fact, it's a lot of it, it's like, show me the money.
Mm.
So it's not an issue, the timing of this doesn't make a lot of sense either, because there are so many other programs that the state is trying to work through that haven't even been completed. This would just bog down things more. So if it's not an issue and the timing is wrong, also with the model of it isn't the right model. In order for these people to even exist, these expanded trained hygienists, they'd have to go through so much more education at great cost that it doesn't even make a whole lot of
So
sense.
there's nothing about it that makes any sense.
Not to
No,
us.
okay,
No.
makes sense. Are you guys gonna, just so I know, will you leave me with all these?
Absolutely.
Okay,
We can,
Yeah.
great.
sure.
Yeah.
Great, absolutely, that's great. Okay, well, that works too.
Do we have one for the,
The part of the thing is, for the,
which one?
they passed,
Steve just gave
they
it.
passed a
Oh.
regulation like 4 years ago for an expanded duty assistant,
Okay,
which is based on a model that they have in the military,
Okay.
where, individuals are trained to work under a dentist. The dentist,
Yeah, that's-
literally gives the injection, they drill the tooth, if you will, and the assistant then puts in the filling,
okay.
which is a fairly efficient model. But within the 4 years since that's been passed, they have not developed the standards, they have not developed the regulations related to the training of those types of assistants even. So, to come up with an advanced dental hygiene practitioner, it's like, it's just like, let's try we've got one, we've got a workforce model that's been suggested, that's been agreed upon. Why not just try that, see if it works? It works in the military.
So it looks like they're just trying to solve a problem that doesn't
Doesn't
exist.
exist.
That's it.
Okay,
But-
okay, that makes a lot of
So they're
sense.
trying to give them, sort of like enhancing their own standing within the profession is what it comes down to.
Okay,
They're
that
trying
makes
to make something that,
The other major thing we wanted to deal with,
Yeah.
Tom, is that blue card.
Okay.
Which is the funding of the dental benefit for adults under
Okay.
Mass Health.
Okay,
And that.
through the budget.
Yeah, there's going to be, and we know that there's a moratorium or whatever, a hold on all, on all mandated benefits, but which that is what that would come under. But there is money coming on board for in January of 2014 from the
Okay.
feds. And what we're hoping to do is that the state maintains their full level of funding for the state level, so that when the Fed money comes in, it will
We
be
don't lose
used
out
to
on it.
supplement, well, and also to supplement it, to bring to full fruition all that was meant to be for coverage for the adults. Because what it comes down to is pay a little bit now to prevent bigger problems later. And that's what this really comes down to.
Do you know if we'd lose out on Fed money too if we didn't meet a
Yes.
certain
My
funding
assumption would be
obligation?
yes,
Okay, because I know that happens often. It's not just
We've
didn't
already
apply.
lost 60 cents of every dollar
Okay.
that we could have had if we had an adult, dental.
But we would urge the legislature to not use that Fed money that's coming in to substitute for what's presently funded, or it would be funded from the
Yeah,
state.
just to add on
We
to
want a
it.
supplemental,
Okay.
yes.
Part of
That makes sense.
it is less than 1% of the federal budget spent on Medicaid is dental, less than
Yeah.
1%. So if you're cutting dental,
Yeah,
what the hell are you cutting?
yeah.
You know?
Do you know by any chance what the governor did in his budget? Not that apparently we're paying attention to the governor's budget, but I'm just curious.
We can.
No,
try
I
to
can
find
take a
that
look
out.
too.
We
I
can find it.
I can hop on the computer and find
Okay,
out.
if you don't,
I
if you
think
don't, we can.
I should have the information on the
They're
card to figure it out.
supposedly, and I get this in another group, they're supposedly restoring partial benefits.
Okay.
And that's like healthcare for all,
Mhm.
better oral healthcare, for Massachusetts Coalition, those two groups
Okay.
have been working on the same issue.
Okay.
So, they're supposedly trying to manage to restore partial, benefits. But, in many cases, it's like, I think, it's sort of like not understanding the concept that if you put a filling in now, it doesn't become an abscess, it doesn't become an extraction in a year. So you put the filling in, and, a lot of people that they end up, once they get that infection, where they need a root canal or have a tooth extracted, they end up in the emergency room.
Yeah.
For $300, they give them an antibiotic, they give them some pain medication, they do some mandatory testing that they have to do to protect themselves.
And they're right back where they were.
And 6 months later, they're back in with the same
Yeah.
problem. It still hasn't been fixed because they can't afford to,
Yeah. That makes sense.
So,
Okay. All right. Let's. I'll take a look at that for as we're coming up on the process right now with the House budget coming out in a few weeks. So I'll make sure I take a look and let the rep know on that one.
And I'll make a note just in case
Yeah,
they
I'll-
don't find it.
if I don't
you
find it, I'll shoot you an email.
Well, we can have them shoot you
Okay.
emails. If they
That's
know
great.
that
Yeah,
the
that's great.
MDS, Best Health Society knows
Yeah,
what
I'll take a
it is.
look. Was there anything else specific that you wanted me to make sure I took a look at? I'll take a look at everything, but anything to focus
Well,
on.
just because a quick run through of the
Yeah,
others.
absolutely.
One of them deals with the assignment of benefits for dental benefits for
Okay.
insurance companies that for in-network dentists and out-of-network dentists,
Mhm.
which I know you're familiar
Mhm.
with those concepts. That presently, that if money is needed for copay from the patient, that's all they pay if they're in-network. But if it's out-of-network, our only recourse is to collect the full benefit, the full payment for the procedure.
Okay.
Because the insurance companies, oftentimes, even when the assignment of benefits is signed on the claim, that they won't send the check to the dentist.
Okay.
And so then it has to be sent to the patient, and oftentimes the patient has to wait for a longer period of time to be reimbursed after they've already had to pay the
Pay the upfront
out-of-network
cost.
dentist.
Okay.
The crux of
Part
this
of
is it takes away the freedom of choice as to what dentist you choose.
Yeah.
Because you might get a really tough time from insurance companies if you're not going to a new dentist that they would like you to go to instead of the dentist that you're used to.
people
Yeah.
get used to, having assignment of benefits. So they get used to having the insurance company pay the dentist directly.
Okay.
So then, somebody's employer changes their dental insurance. So now the new dental insurance company says, well, we don't do assignment of benefits. So, okay, so they say, well, all right, I'm gonna keep going to my same dentist because I like the guy, I've been going to him for 30 years, But how does this work? So the deal is that, we give them a bill, they pay the whole bill, they have to recover their amount from the insurance company. They don't know how to fill out an insurance form. They're trying to deal with something, sending a bill in, the insurance company is not paying, 6 months down the line, they still haven't paid. If they sign, an assignment of benefits to us, we can chase their money with the insurance company.
It's an administrative burden on the patient that they
individual.
really
They
don't
don't
need
understand
to
what we
have.
do. They don't understand the
And then I'm sure
diagnosis,
that
the treatment, et
just
cetera.
causes an administrative burden for you folks.
Oh,
Yeah,
precisely.
and it makes a very unpleasant situation, and who makes out? The insurance company,
Yeah.
because they're not paying anybody, they're sitting on a couple $1 million
It's a
in
faceless
cash.
organization.
Okay.
Nobody talks to them.
Yeah.
All right.
And then another one there is for a time limit for the insurance companies to be able to try
Yes.
to be reimbursed
Yes.
for a claim that was paid to a dentist.
Okay.
And if we're not talking about fraudulent claims or
Mhm.
anything, we're talking about where they've had some sort of internal bookkeeping error, that for instance, you came to me, you had a valid card, they
Mhm.
paid for it, then they look
You mean
and
tell
see
my
later
dentist- you mean
that
tell
you
my
weren't
dentist
actually
story?
eligible at the time, so they
Okay.
ask me for the money back. And I don't have any recourse, because oftentimes if it's a dental insurance company that I deal with, they'll just take it out of the
Yeah,
next
yeah.
paycheck.
Okay.
So what we're looking for is for them not to be able to come afterwards. We're looking for a year
Okay.
year limit on that. So if they don't do it in a year, then however they want to find to get their money back, it's not going to be through via the dentist.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a sense of fair play.
Okay.
Another one is that that we're pro is a bill, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but it's a bill for requiring a dental exam for children before entering school.
Okay.
And I think a lot of times people, if you ask them, think that that probably already is the case, but it's not.
Okay.
And so the idea of it is to assess the needs for children before they start school. Oftentimes, the kids that fall under those parameters are socioeconomic lower class, lower socioeconomic class, and they're not often, the parents often don't know of the need for that.
Yeah.
And so having the parents be educated that their child needs this work, and then get them into and
Part of it,
working
again,
with
is,
a dental home.
it's not that important like in Marblehead, in Lynn.
Yeah.
Because we have fluoride in the water. But Brockton doesn't have fluoride in the water.
Okay.
Springfield doesn't have fluoride in the water. Worcester doesn't have fluoride in the water. Approximately 50% of the communities in Massachusetts do not have fluoride in the water. So this isn't necessarily, this isn't something that's tremendously important in our area, but it's tremendously important in other areas. And that's why we're
Okay.
supporting the thing. So it's like, it's like some, a little bit, it's hard to see the need. So even if you talk to most dentists on the North Shore, they're like, well, what's the big deal? But there are certain areas that it's a tremendous big deal.
Yeah.
Because you don't just see, like a little cavity that has to be done. You see kids that come in with so much decay that they literally wonder how come they're not sitting there crying and, that they're even able to eat.
Yeah.
And then another one that's in there, and once again, this is under one that is a mandated benefit, so
Okay.
it's right now, but that's for allowing for general anesthesia for patients of children who need that.
Okay.
So for instance, children with health problems or mentally compromised children that need to be treated dentally under general anesthesia, to allow for that to be provided.
By the insurance company?
Yes,
Well,
by
yeah,
mandated.
the medical
by-
insurance companies
Yeah.
say that it's not medically necessary, so they won't
Just
pay
go
for
ahead
the
and do it without the
anesthesia.
anesthesia?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, but you see, the thing is, like, you pick a kid with autism, or you pick a kid with Down syndrome,
There's a typo.
they're a little emotionally fragile anyway.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? So, kids like that, they get a cavity, it gets a little deeper, it gets abscessed. They can't even be, they just cannot be treated. As much pain as they may be in, it's impossible to treat them because they, in some cases, become physically violent.
The one we hand you might not have had that typo corrected.
Not to mention that
Okay,
lost
great.
hours.
No, I'll make sure I make that note. I see it right here.
So that's all important, but the
Yeah.
big thing is you just can't even treat those kids without anesthesia,
Yeah.
without sedation. And, if somebody's not gonna pay for the sedation and you need to go into a hospital to do the work on some of these kids,
Not gonna
it's
happen.
just not, it's impossible. So then, so you're putting a kid at risk who's already at risk.
All right, that makes sense.
That's big things like Down syndrome, autism, when you're talking disabilities, that's the kind of disabilities you're talking, kids that are just so far out of it. I mean, even a kid that has, some level of childhood schizophrenia.
Yeah.
You know,
And so this is the anesthesia. This is putting them under to do the. It's not just not Novocaine.
It's not
or something.
Novocaine.
No,
Right,
it's
right.
like,
No general.
or you have to employ a general
Okay.
Anesthesiologist of some
Yeah.
kind.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then Tom, the final one
Yeah.
is it's Senate Bill 1001, which I know you're not involved with yet, but hopefully it'll go forward. And that's essentially mandating an act relative to oral injuries to have a study performed to gather the information about the incidence of oral injuries, with the idea to help be supportive of our legislation to have mouth guards mandated in all sports.
I can't believe
Whether
mouth guards
injuries-
aren't.
Yeah, but
Yeah. Well, this
Some
is
sports,
talk
yes, some
about-
sports, no.
this is to mandate that the Department of Public Health, do this survey
Uh-huh.
to establish. the
Sorry, I'm
incidence.
doing this. I'm just telling
So-
her there's a vote.
It's okay. But anyway, to establish,
The necessity of it.
yeah, to establish that there is a need for mouth guards in sports.
Okay.
There's only two sports, I think, in Massachusetts that mandate mouth
Football and
guards.
hockey.
No, lacrosse and football, I believe.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
lacrosse, they actually have, they get green cards or whatever it is if they don't have their mouth guards.
That's really interesting because I know that when I played youth hockey at least, we were required to wear mouth guards.
Well, your coach might make you
Yeah.
wear them, but
Okay.
the MIAA, which is the
Doesn't.
Massachusetts
Yep.
Interscholastic Athletic Association, if you go on their website and look it up, there's only two sports, if I recall.
I feel like
Yeah.
I can think of any instance in any sport where
And I
you should
think
be wearing mouth guards.
34% of basketball injuries.
Yeah. Oh, elbows flying.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Are orofacial injuries.
Yeah.
So this is to mandate the gathering of this information
Okay.
so that we can figure out.
And then we can use that.
Say,
And,
say-
and the Department of Public Health, they're saying, we do it if we had the money. But they don't have the money, so they don't want
Okay.
to do it,
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's
It's not like they're opposed to doing it, it's just they don't have the money.
They
to
just
do
want the
it.
resources to
Yeah.
be able to do it. Okay, well that makes sense. Well, I'll make sure I take a look at everything and show it to the rep. She's not a hard sell for issues like this. She gets it. So we're definitely appreciative of you guys coming in, and I'm sure my mom will tell me tomorrow I need to go see a dentist myself. So maybe I'll call somebody. But thank you guys again.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I have some out at my desk, so I'll grab them for you.
Thanks
You
for
guys-
your time.
yeah, you bet. Thank you guys so much for coming in, and
Okay.
don't worry about pulling the chairs out. I'll do that when you guys are.